everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Sue or Miss Sister Toadie, and today we are going to be making rainbow grilled cheese. I made this in 3 of my classes this school year, and it was a big hit and a lot of fun. So let's go through the pictures first, and I'm going to point them out what you need for today's vocabulary. So I'm sorry about the printer issues. I have to get this one figured out. Don't know what the problem is yet. I'll get there. So we need mozzarella cheese, we need bread, we need food coloring. My griddle is still at school, but I'm using the stove and a pan. And the rest of the directions on how to make it, but I'm going to videotape that. So the vocabulary, food coloring, griddle, cheese, kids probably know. We are going to be using spatulas, and I'm going to show you the 2 different types of spatulas and the one that we need for this. So let's get started. We're going to look over here, and here is the cheese. So this is a low-fat mozzarella. You can use cheddar. You can use any white cheese that you want. It works better with the food coloring. The yellow can make the food coloring a little bit off. Or you can just use your sliced American cheese and chop it up. Number 1. Number 2, we need food coloring. And I have yellow that I've already put a few drops into the ramekin with some cheese and mixed it up. We have blue, and I did the same here for the sake of time. We have red, whoops, and we dropped it. We have red, mixed it up. And now I'm gonna do the green, so you can see, you take it, and the kids, again, the kids are doing all the work. As I said, they taste everything, they taste the cheese. They don't taste the food coloring, but they do taste the cheese, and they, couple of little drops. I have the children do the work. They put the cheese in the bowl. They put the food coloring in the bowl. I might be doing hand over hand. I might be doing hand over hand while they're stirring it up. But the kids are doing the work either independently with a little help from me or perhaps a lot of support depending on the child. So there you have your 4 different cheeses, and this is how we make the rainbow grilled cheese. We take 2 slices of bread, and I'm going to put butter. We turn on the stove or the griddle. We tell the children that it's hot. Again, I give them that sign, hot, and I have them put a little bit of butter on the back of one. And sometimes I'm doing this in a plate with the kids so it's not over the hot utensil, the hot stove, the hot burner, the hot griddle. So sometimes we do it on the plate before we put it. Then you take a spoonful of the red, or any color first, and you line it on the top like that. Then you take a spoonful of the next color, any color you want, and you do another row across. Make sure it's going left to right and not top to bottom. Then you take your 3rd color, I'm using blue next, and you put it across like this. And then you take your last color, which is the yellow. It does look orange in here, but that's because of the cheese and the yellow food coloring. So you can teach them the lesson on what happens when you mix colors. So after you get your cheese on, you take your 2nd slice of bread, and once again, you put some butter on the bread, and this is actually the top. This is not going on the cheese. Your butter's on the top, but the part without the butter is what you want on top of the cheese. So now that's going to cook, and while that's cooking, it's getting hot, we are going to use a spatula. Now, which spatula do you think we use? Are you guessing? All right, this is the one we use. This is a rubber spatula. We use it in a Teflon pan. There is metal, but you wouldn't want to use it in this pan. What do you use this spatula for? Anybody guess? Come on, guys, you can guess. You're right. This spatula is used for when we make cupcakes or brownies or any kind of a dessert. This kind of spatula scrapes the bowl. This spatula we've used in the past. We've used them to make pancakes, and we flip and we flip That's what we're going to do with the grilled cheese. We are going to flip. So I'm going to put this spatula away. And again, we talk about stove versus oven. I know I said this in the last video, but we let the kids know this is a stove, and the one we have in school when we're cooking in the teacher's lounge, it actually has burners. It's not a smooth top, so it's significantly more aware of a burner, and it's hot. The smooth top is a little bit confusing, so if you have a smooth top at home, you want to make sure your children understand that it can still be hot even though it's not red. And then we talk about the oven, and we make the difference between the stove and the oven. So now what I'm going to do is when you're making your grilled cheese, you want to kind of press a little bit hard on top. So another word vocabulary you can give the kids is press, 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 and it is going to stick a little bit. If you don't want them near the stove, you can just show them press with your hands. Press, press. You can show press this way. Go around the house, say the word over and over, and teach them what the word press means. So we're pressed it to squish. Another word, another vocabulary word, squish. Give them lots of descriptors. Tell them we're making rainbow grilled cheese, and tell them where you might see a rainbow. All of this is incorporated into the lesson. So now we're going to give it a flip. I think it's probably okay, praying it's okay for one side. And if the kids are able to flip with me, I let them. They'll typically stand back. I will hold their hand. We'll be out like this. I'll let them know it's hot, and we go flip. There you go. And I think that was pretty successful. Yes, we got some cheese on the back because it was in the pan, but it's still melting. So you can see the butter is gone on top. It's warm. It's probably not completely cooked, but we're going to press, press, press. And we're going to have a plate available to put this on for when it's done. Forgot to get that out. And while you're waiting with the kids, explain to them, it's cooking, it's hot, it's melting like snow melts. Make some analogies. The cheese is melting like the snow is melting. Talk about the colors. If your child is old enough to understand that colors, mixing colors can make a new one, tell them yellow and blue can make green. So now we're going to flip again, and now it's the easy flip. We flipped once. This might be even easier to let your child flip. Boom, flip like that. You can see close up here that the cheese is melting on the inside. And then you're going to cook it as long as you feel like you want to cook it. It looks like it's probably melted inside for when we cut it apart. Some people like it dark. Some people like it light. And there you go. So I am going to let it cook for 1 more minute while I get a knife so we can cut it and see what it looks like. All right, here we go. I'm going to give it one more flip just to know. Do it with your kids. There, look at how more toasted it got. It just got even browner because it's cooking more. It's cooking longer. Explain that. Longer, hotter, cook more. Give those concepts. Don't just assume children understand. This is where you can really give some vocabulary and concepts. Hot, cold, long, short. I'm going to shut the burner off. I'm going to take the spatula, pick it up, put it in the plate, and pretty soon you're going to see why we call it rainbow grilled cheese. I'm going to cut it here, and it's going to be hot when I pick it up, but there's your rainbow in the middle of the sandwich. You got your red and your green and your blue and your yellow, which really looks a little orangey. So that's today's lesson, rainbow grilled cheese. I hope you like it. Send me a message. You can't comment on YouTube, but most of you have my email or through Dojo. I'm going to try to put some of this on the Classroom Dojo, and let me know if you try it. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Stay safe. Stay healthy.